Did you listen to Jeff and Professor Hamo in the morning? Here's what you missed.
We know everybody out there has a story to tell, and everybody deserves to tell their story. Today is about one of us. That's right. If you're a potential journalist, if you're a wannabe journalist, if you're a journalist, this is a story you need to hear. Remember Tom Mboya? Of course you do. He started in the business way back in 2005 at broadcasting house KBC, made his way to Citizen, eventually ended up at K24 because he was lured by money. But in the meantime, in between, he crashed and burned and went from hero to zero and is now trying to come back to hero status again. His story is one you simply have to hear. Sit back. Better yet, lean forward as Katiba Clyde gives us the chime.
A story a day.
Tom Mboya, welcome to Hot 96.
Thank you, Jeff, man. The last time we were together was on the bench.
Remember?
And I'm just wondering, who's following who, man?
We were on the bench and you had an incredible story, Tom.
You think so?
Incredible.
Thanks, man.
And you have the face for it, you have the voice for it. You were our constant on TV.
Really?
Honestly, and I'm not blowing smoke up your skirt. I'm just saying,
No, I mean, if it's Jeff Grenanga's report, then that's quite something, bro. But it's good to see you.
You too, brother, and Karibu Sana.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Yeah.
The career. Tell us how it started. How did you get into broadcasting?
How did I start? Let's do this. Let's try and compress this one. Eh?
Yes.
But it starts very casually. Because I have my career going on in the hospitality industry, and I'm happy, doing great things, and then an opportunity presents itself at Broadcasting House, and I casually pick it up, and as they say, one thing leads to another, and the rest is history. So it starts off at Broadcasting House as a business reporter. And I was very privileged to work under the tutelage of Elizabeth Omolo, okay? And so I believe that I got good grounding. And it wasn't long thereafter that a private media house, Citizen, spotted some talent in me, and they called me over. And I came to Citizen. Ile Citizen ya zamani kwanza.
Ile ya kitambo.
Okay.
Yeah, how were those early days of Citizen? Because there was obviously KBC.
Yeah.
And then KTN had started.
Yeah.
So now Citizen was like the third network.
Exactly.
What was that like?
And I think they were just looking around, at people who they thought they could plug into their vision. They were private media house. And I think I was very lucky I got an opportunity at Citizen. And when you're starting something big, sometimes during the formative stages, there are a bit of challenges. Yeah. And, there were challenges, of course. Back in the day, the packages were not the way they are today. And, there was a lot of work that had to go in, okay? And I'm happy. I'm happy that I got that chance to, to lay a foundation. Yeah.
And you were here with the likes of who? Was it Catherine Kasavuli and
No, I was here with the likes of Bill Amira.
Yes.
Franklin Wambogo. Okay. There was a lady who's the late, unfortunately, may her soul rest in peace. Yeah. And a number of people who later on bolted out and went to do other things.
Right.
Yeah.
So then you did that for a little bit.
Yes.
And then you opted out, or?
Sometimes when you're starting and your jobs are strong, you feel you want to go out, it's raining out, you want to go out and dance. Okay?
Yeah.
So I left Citizen. I got a chance at NTV Nation. Okay? And I worked there for a couple of years. And later on did a halftime. Okay.
Reevaluate.
Yeah. Take stock.
Take stock.
All right. I think for about 2-3 years.
Right.
And then I came back
to Citizen.
To Citizen.
Yeah.
And it was a different Tom Mboya. Okay. It was a different Tom Mboya.
Yeah.
I'd gone through some rough patches of my life.
Yeah. including drinking
and stuff. So when I came back, there was a lot more purpose and direction, and I knew what I wanted. And probably we're going to talk about that later on.
Yes.
But there was so much focus, and
you're enjoying yourself.
And I was having fun.
Yeah.
And so later on, winning accolades did not come as a surprise to me. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were, in other words, you were a star. You had arrived.
I don't know. I think I just sort of gone in and reworked my inner engineering and figured out what I wanted.
Yeah.
Okay. And I was very specific
and focused.
And very focused. And I put my foot on the pedal and went all the way to the finishing line.
Yeah.
Jeff, you'll agree with me that winning an award like the best African journalist.
That's huge. That's huge. And by the way, it was a story you did about Africans living in India.
Exactly.
That story, I'm telling you, that it played forever. And it was a huge eye-opener. Africans didn't realize a lot. When our people are there and they're speaking Kihin, there's a tribe of Africans.
Yes, exactly.
That was brilliantly done, by the way. Brilliantly done.
Yeah, thanks. I mean, because a lot of the Africans that we knew were out, were somewhere in America or the UK.
Yeah.
But who would have imagined that you'd get, blacks, people who look like Clyde, right at the center of a forest in India.
In India.
Yeah.
Brilliant story. I remember I was working at CNN then.
Yeah.
And I was part of the judges for the African Journalist for the Year Award.
Yeah.
And when we saw this story, we said, my goodness.
It was a big one.
This is an eye-opener.
Yeah.
It was huge.
Yeah, I think it was a great story, really. And for me, just being able to bring out a story like the African tribe in India, those are some of my highs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Did you think now, after that, did you think, my goodness, the sky's the limit here? The sky's the limit.
Yeah, when you have a vote of confidence passed to you by institutions like CNN, MultiChoice, etc., then you feel that, you know what? I think I have something that I can give the world.
Yeah.
Okay. And so you sort of develop a sense in which you feel you're on top of your game. All right.
Yeah.
There are these voices that tell you, you cannot do this, you cannot that. But you look at what you've achieved and accomplished, and it fires up your inner pistons, and you feel you can conquer even the world.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So now you're at the top of your game, and then surprisingly you leave the top network, the top local network, meaning Citizen.
Yeah.
And you go, or you are lured to K24.
Yes.
Sidi pesa bana, nasa ni do.
Okay. Look at my trajectory. I start at KBC, okay, and then I go to the old Citizen, and then I go to Nation, and then I come back to Citizen, right?
Yeah.
And then I move to K24.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you look at that trajectory, then there is nothing strange about movement. Okay, it's very normal.
Yeah.
It happens in the media a lot.
Correct. Yeah, there's a lot of movement. You're right.
Yeah, I mean, the last time you interviewed me, you were somewhere else. And now you're here. So that's normal. Sometimes you just want to go and try elsewhere.
Sure. And how was that move for you?
No, I think it was good because it meant more responsibilities. It meant having a team, leading a team of people. Okay, and for me, it was a bit of a balance between doing what I love doing and also playing a role in management.
Yeah.
Okay? And I think it's important for all of us.
Absolutely.
Sometimes you want to come and mentor a group of people, and just. So yeah, it was good. It was good. It was not really about the money. Okay.
But it didn't last long.
Yeah. For excuse me, for some reason, it didn't take too long.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
There were certain disruptions.
Yes.
But let me put it this way, Jeff. In 2012, Best in Africa. Okay?
Yeah.
unknown to many people, 2 years later, I actually won another award, not a continental award this time. It was actually a global award. And one of my relatives asked me when I came back at the airport, that Tom, Africa has been good to you, and now you're back with a global award. So what would be the incentive for you to stay on in the media? And I felt that was a deep question.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's not surprising that around the same time I was reading a book by Bobby Bafford, Halftime, and it sort of drew a distinction between success and significance. And I thought maybe my halftime has come. Because all the successes that I've had until that point were external. An award from CNN, a global award from Kuala Lumpur, okay?
Yeah.
But there's still a gap inside, okay? And so I thought probably my halftime is the only opportunity I'll have to go deep in and I'll find myself, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, so that I'm not defined by these externals. Okay, I wanna now move into the space of significance. You know, picking up a 22-year-old from the School of Journalism and looking at that person and you know, reproducing myself in that person. Okay, so for me, I think that's the stage that I'm now going through. Okay, and probably that's why I didn't spend a lot of time at K24. Okay, and with a bit of retrospect, I think everything sort of works, you know, for good.
Are you saying you don't regret leaving Citizen?
I don't regret leaving Citizen. Look, life is a journey. Okay, Jeff?
Yeah.
Life is a journey. And the moment you talk about journey, there's a correlation between journey and distance. Okay? And distance can be calculated because there's a component of time and there's a component of speed. All right?
Sure.
So if in my life of journey the calculation was that at some point I was going to be unavailable at Citizen, then that's it.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Because it basically just meant exit was room for somebody's entry.
Sure. But let me ask you this, Tom. In our business, you're only as good as your last story. We all know this. So you're off the screen. What's going through your mind? Because obviously, you know, your life was on the screen. Everyone was so used to seeing you. And you suddenly disappear. What is that like?
Like a flash. Interesting you use the word suddenly. But when I look back, I think I spent about 15 years, 15, 16 years thereabout, in the industry. And that's a long time.
It's a long time.
But I believe I understand why we keep on referring to it as a flash, suddenly. Because when you have a front row role like the one I had of a news anchor, people in a sense feel that you are constantly in their space, in the comfort of their living room, telling them the things that happened. And so they kind of start to feel like, you know what, it's part of family. Okay?
Yeah.
So they sort of develop something we call emotional equity. All right?
Yeah.
So when you step away, even for half a minute, then they feel that sense of loss.
Yeah.
Where the hell did Tom go to?
There you go.
Okay?
Correct.
And so for me, it's not really in a flash. Because inside those 15 years, I was able to grow my career all the way to what people call the top.
Yeah.
Okay, so it was a pretty long time. Okay? It was a pretty long time. And I think we also need to start cultivating a culture of you can leave when your jobs are strong. Okay?
Yeah.
All right? There's nothing wrong. Okay? You can create space for the generation behind us to come in. And you know, and because when we arrived, when we showed up, there was a generation before us, the Hamisi Thermals.
Yes.
All right?
Yeah.
Joroge
Moura.
the John Sibiokumus.
John Sibi, yes.
Joroge.
Yes.
You know, and so for me, I think it's a cycle. Okay? It's a cycle in the industry. that after a certain period of time, we're going to see fresher, okay, people moving in. Okay. The only regret that I have, okay, is that we bolted out without preparing handover notes for the generations that came behind us. And that pains me so much, because sometimes when I look at how stories are covered, I feel that we're giving our audiences a raw deal. Okay? All right? There's no, the depth that used to be there, we can't see it. Okay? All right? We are more headline, sort of, you pick the fly, headline it, and forget about the soup. Okay?
Yes.
All right?
Yes.
So those are some of the things that disturb me. Okay? All right?
Yeah. So you've been away from the screen for a while. What has Tom Mboya been up to?
Tom Mboya is doing halftime. He's taking stock. He's looking at where he's come from. Okay, he's mobilizing all those things, the ups, the lows. Okay?
Yeah.
And he's saying that, look, the world has given me a lot. Okay? All right? Opportunities, awards. But I think it's now time for me to mobilize all these things, including the talents that I have, and figure out how I'm going to give it back. Okay? Because, Jeff, I'm approaching the 5th floor.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, brother, the view there is awesome.
Tell
The
me
view
about
there
it.
is awesome.
I'm already there.
You're already there. You don't look it though. And there's a lot of wisdom.
Yeah.
There are a lot of things that you sort of realize. For instance, I'll give you one of the things that I think we're not doing enough is mentoring. I'm seeing a lot of lazy mentorship taking, all around. Let me just break that down for you, Jeffo. Look at the number of suicide cases that we have been witnessing over the last couple of months or years. And I've always wondered why a young guy who runs into trouble sees suicide as the only option. Okay? But I think part of the reason is that we don't have people stepping forward. All right? And thanks for giving me this chance, because we need to do this a lot.
Absolutely.
Stepping forward and talking to the youngsters and telling them that in life, it's okay to fail. It's okay to miss your target once in a while. Okay? Because failure is a function of success.
Correct.
All right?
Yeah.
Okay? So we are seeing a lot of Simon Makonde narratives, people becoming overnight billionaires. Okay? But they're not coming to Jeff's studio here to talk about how they acquired their wealth. Do you know why? Because that wealth is unexplained.
Correct.
Okay?
Yeah.
And no wonder a reporter coming forward to talk about the highs, the lows, the successes, the failures. No one is talking to the youngsters that it's okay to fail. And so when the youngsters, when they're confronted with failure, they feel stranded. And so what do? They want to kill failure. And in the process, they themselves become collateral damage.
Yeah, and they don't know how to deal.
They don't know how to deal because nobody told them that failure is part of the journey.
Okay.
It's okay to fail.
It's okay to fail.
Yeah. I mean, you don't plan to go to fail.
No.
It happens. But if it happens, how do you deal with it? Okay?
Yeah.
All right? So those are the things that I'm trying to just put myself together. Okay?
You were talking about alcohol a moment ago. How bad was it?
How bad was alcohol?
Was your drinking habit? How bad was it?
Jeff, when you have malaria or when you get food poisoning, you don't need willpower to treat it. You walk into a hospital and you're tested and the doctor sorts you out. Now, alcoholism is a disease. But I hear a lot of people, talking about willpower.
Yeah.
It's a disease. Okay?
Yeah.
And so, once there's that understanding, okay, then it becomes easier to deal with the disease. Okay? Wacha pombe. Shida yako ni nini? Alcohol is a symptom. I mean, when you see somebody drowning himself in drinks, okay, there's probably something you can't see. There's a deeper problem.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
All right? And so I had my fair share. Okay?
Yeah.
Young, a bit of money here, and so on. And so what starts off like a casual, a social drink evolves and becomes something else. So I struggled with alcohol for so many years, quietly. A lot of people didn't know.
Right.
I mean, Tom appears on TV
Yeah.
wearing, this king-size smile.
Yes.
But deep inside, there's so much turmoil. Huh? And I don't know, somehow we had a way of hiding these things.
Masking.
Yeah, of masking.
Yeah.
And so, it goes on and on and on and on until sometime, you can't take it anymore. And, it starts to affect a lot of things.
Yeah.
It starts to affect productivity at work. It starts to affect relationships on the home front, and so on and so forth. And for me, it became so bad. I remember a friend of mine, I prefer not to mention his name, but he was one of the top people at the stock exchange, who told me that, you know what, Tom, I've noticed you don't come to the club anymore. But I noticed in your car, you've got a bottle of whiskey. And this is what he told me. He told me that now you've taken the bar to your car. And that trajectory, the next stop, will be from the car to your pocket. So before any high-profile meeting,
Quick drink.
quick shot. Okay?
Yeah.
But I didn't think much of what this gentleman told me. But later on, when I was hospitalized, I suffered acute pancreatitis. Is when I realized it was really bad.
Yeah.
It was really bad. I remember talking with a friend, and he's telling me that a man needs about 14 units of drink per week, and he'll function optimally. And the ladies could survive with 7. A unit being either a bottle of beer or a shot of whiskey. But he told me that, Tom, I think your allocation of 40 years, you've actually finished it in 10. And so what that means is the body got a beating.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I found myself in hospital. Okay. But this is, when I look back, I tell myself, you know what? The pancreatitis is what saved me. Okay. I think it's a topic in economics called the commitment advantage.
Mm-hmm.
Alcohol was going to kill me. And so pancreatitis came to
rescue you.
To rescue me.
Yeah.
Okay. Because now it's 10 years.
10 years.
Yes. It's 10 years, bro.
You've been dry.
Yeah, I've been clean. And the reason I'm talking about pancreatitis with a lot of tenderness is because sometimes when problems come our way, we don't know how to deal.
Yeah.
But my advice to folks who are going through a challenge is whatever challenge comes your way, it's okay. Just be tender with it.
Yeah.
Look at it the way you're looking at me now. Talk to it. Sit it down.
Yeah.
How about what?
Have a discussion.
Yes.
A conversation.
Hug it. I mean, this is something that's on transit. So you might as well, maximize on it, stay there.
Yeah.
Because it's going to go anyway. Yeah? And make sure when it's gone, there are certain lessons left. And those lessons can only be, smoked out. Smoked out when you have a candid discussion with the problem.
Question.
Yeah.
Would you come back to the business if given an opportunity? If you got a phone call today saying, Tom, back on here.
What would be the incentive?
Money.
Come on, Jeff. Come on, Jeff. Money?
Yes.
Baba.
Unless you won the lotto, I don't know about.
For me, if that were to happen, then it would be a second half of purpose, just to ensure that when the final whistle is blown, then you have fixed the handover notes, and the generation that you're going to hand over will be a reflection of the foundation that you established. I think we sort of bolted out in a rush.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
All right? And
there's still a lot of people who need mentoring out there.
Exactly. And the industry is bigger than all of us. So sometimes we I don't know, but I think it's something that I would think deeply about.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because of the reason that we want to be on the right side of history.
Sure.
That we did things right.
When you walk down the streets,
Yeah.
I'm sure people still recognize you. I'm sure, they haven't forgotten your face.
As who? The guy who plays the guitar.
I know this guy. Who's this guy again?
Who's this guy? Yeah, I know. We get that a lot. Yeah.
And do they say, Tom, where have you been?
Yeah. They do. You remember we spoke about emotional equity. They feel you're part of family.
Yeah.
They
And you
feel-
bolted from them. You abandoned them.
You just abandon them without any explanation.
Yeah.
And so, of course, that comes through a lot. And I think, you just apologize and tell them, it's okay. It's okay.
We are still together.
Yeah, we're still together.
Tweets are already coming in thick and fast, Tom. People love your story. Moses Torore says, great story, Tom Mboya. You are a mentor to young journalists. True, life is a journey whereby you fall, you collect yourself, move on with life. Never give up. Big up, sir. John Gurugwe, all the way in Doha, Qatar, says, nice to hear from Tom Mboya. I started in the media, ended up in a completely different profession, but I believe my retirement job is media. Watch this space. Duncan Where says, I remember Tom Mboya gracing our black and white Great Wall TV. Yanigani?
Okay.
For news, what a legend. Augustine Alcina says, this is my favorite story to listen to. Tom Mboya. I really look up to as a media personality. It was so inspiring, him working with Kate. That's Kasavuli, yeah?
Oh, that's Kasav.
Yeah.
That's Kasavuli, yeah. Catherine Kasavuli.
Oh, she was a superstar as well.
Oh, still is, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Gongu Kiari says, what a story, Tom Mboya. Your story is breathtaking. So what's next? You say you're approaching the 5th floor.
Yeah.
It is halftime.
Halftime.
And halftime doesn't last very long, huh? The commercial break doesn't last long.
It doesn't last long, bro. Yeah,
The
you're right.
whistle is about to blow.
It's about to blow. And
Are you ready?
am I ready? I feel I'm ready. I'm ready for second half.
Yeah.
And I thank God for the gift of life. What I've been through.
Yes. What was the worst part, Tom? What was the worst, other than being in hospital with pancreatitis?
Yeah.
What's the worst part?
Look, life is a journey. Of course, there are a number of things that happen that, are very unpleasant and that leave unpleasant memories. But the ones that, are really on top, other than the pancreatitis
Yes.
and the loss of my father when I was still very young, was a brutal attack on my son. Okay? And this is something that really weakened me, because there's certain things that happen and they only happen next door, not to you.
Yeah. Never to you.
Never to you, yes. But everything happens for a reason. Okay? I never thought that I would see my baby boy with those kind of injuries. But 300 stitches on the face, about 17 procedures on his jaw, and we came through.
Well,
But it was a low moment, because it was around about the same time that I was bolting out of K24. So I had quite a number of issues on my intake that I was dealing with.
yes.
And then there was this phone call that came through on a Saturday in the morning. I was preparing to go to church. And, that you gotta calm down. And so when I get to where my son was, there's a lot of damage on him. I think whoever was assaulting him his end game was death. It was very, it was very clear. But Jeff, there's something. I mean, I looked at that boy in the eye and I told him, you know what? You're going to be okay. For some reason, I couldn't see the injuries. I could just see a guy who was okay and who was walking and so on and so forth. And that's the image that I stayed with in my mind. And I guess that's where I drew my strength from. So he came through. He came through.
How is he now?
He's okay. He's okay. He's okay. Flying like a butterfly, stinging like a bee.
Cassius Clay, Muhammad Ali.
Muhammad Ali.
Nyargero says, Tom Mboya, my all-time crush. He made me love news at a tender age. And it says, Jeff, ask him if given a chance, would he consider coming back out on TV? I just asked you that, right? Yeah. But I'll ask you again. If given a chance, would you consider coming back on TV, on our TVs?
It's something that, you know, I would think about, and I indicated to you why. Your audience.
Yeah.
Your audience is important.
Yeah.
Their views are important. Their feelings are important. Okay? If they feel that a Tom Mboya comeback can be, you know, can be a value addition, then why not? Why not, Jeff? I mean, media, the Tom Mboyas, I believe, the John Allen Namus, the Sophie Kenya, okay?
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
We left, we just bolted out, just like that.
Just took off.
Okay? Okay. And as I said, at the risk of repeating myself, they were not proper hand movements. Okay?
Yeah.
And probably that's the reason why a lot of the audiences out there feel that, no, you know, you shortchanged us, guys. You shortchanged us.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I don't know, yeah.
Greatest high in your life, Tom, other than those 2 awards? By the way, the CNN was huge. But the greatest high?
Family. Yeah.
Nice.
Family. Watoto. Yeah.
How old is this boy now, by the way?
24.
So how old was he when it was...
I don't know, maybe 5 years back. I don't know. Thereabout.
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
But he's got a brother, Jeff, man. I mean him say, Chief. Chief, man. He's got a brother.
Older or younger?
Younger.
Man, how many kids do you have?
Back to back.
How many kids do you have?
Chief, man, I'm an African. You don't give out numbers. I don't know where they got the numbers from. But look, he's got a brother, he's got a sister.
Oh,
yeah, there's Shaka Mboya, there's Denzel, there's Zawadi, there's Atalia, all right? There's Imran, okay, there's Shama, okay? Jeff, you're looking at me like you want me to go on and on till the breakers go. Look, listen, eh?
So, yeah,
Jeffo,
yes.
Jeffo, I am proud that I've been blessed with my babies. And I love them so much.
Good man.
Okay?
Yes.
And you know what? A lot of us have kids out here. But we don't want to talk about our own kids.
Imagine.
That culture that has been cultivated is not good.
Yeah.
Okay?
It's like you're almost ashamed.
It's like you're almost ashamed you have a kid somewhere at a corner in Halinga.
And it's your blood.
And it's your blood, and you keep it in file 13 under lock and key guard. Why?
How?
Why? That's your flesh and blood.
Who does that?
You know?
Yeah.
A lot of folks are doing it.
Yeah.
But listen, man, I'm proud of myself. Stepping forward and saying, you know what? You don't have to parade them when I'm gone. I'm going to talk about them now.
Well, you're still alive.
I'm still alive.
You know, it's funny, you were saying, how long is this show going to last? And I told you top of the hour, right? Look at the time behind you.
And Professor Hamo every day, Monday to Friday from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. only on Hot 96.